Hey guys, welcome back to the shop and thanks for checking out the video. Today we've got a real fun project plan where we're going to take some poplar wood, and not just any poplar wood, some that I've experimented on, and turned it into a fun little off-centered keychain. So let's dive in and see how we're going to do that. Alright, so let's talk about the wood that we're going to be using for this project. So here's an example piece of some poplar. Now it's not super attractive wood, and it's a little bit soft in the hardwood categories, but I've been able to do some pretty fun stuff with it. So a few months back, my family and I were making some tie-dye shirts, and we had some of the clothing dye left over. And so what I did is just poured it all into a little bin with some poplar in there. And this is what we got out of it. So here is a piece of poplar that is soaked in there and is brought in some of the various colors. It's pretty dark as a whole. It's been soaking for about 3 months. But we've got some fun blues and some fun kind of greens and stuff in there. And I'm wondering what it's going to look like inside. So let's go ahead. We're going to get this cut down a little bit and find our centers and then get it on the lathe and see what we're working with. All right, guys, after taking it over to the bandsaw, we cut it open and super disappointed. We had zero penetration from the dye, and I had pretty high hopes for it. It looks so cool on the outside, but in the inside, it just looks like plain poplar. So we'll go ahead and add that to the scrap pile and get this piece of spalted maple burl. I think this is going to be really pretty, and so let's go ahead and get this on the lathe and see what we can do. The idea for this is something a little bit larger than your standard keychain, but it's something that you can put like your mail key on or a house key on for a kid that's big enough that they're not going to lose it, but something that's a little fun and better than, you know, a big long lanyard or something like that. So this is what happens when you are not paying attention. I started shaping the top of our keychain here and completely forgot that we were going to be doing an off-centered keychain. And we need that extra material in order to move the center point on this side of the lathe. So what we'll go ahead and do is just bring this back to here and start anew, and we've got plenty of material for what we need here. All right, we've got this first section done here. So we're gonna go ahead and move our center point. Now we're doing this just the same way that we did in the mushroom video. If you haven't checked that one out, go ahead and check it out. We do some really fun off-center turning in that one as well. So let's get that moved over and move on to our next section. We are very much off-center, as you can see. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, guys, I was in the process of moving this to its next center point and crack. Well, yet another fail. So first, our dyeing didn't work out, and now we've messed up this piece as well. So today's been a little bit of a struggle, but to be honest, things like this happen. Fails happen, breaks happen, cracks happen, blow-ups on the lathe happen. It just occurs. And so the best thing for me is just getting another piece of wood, getting back on the lathe, and enjoying that experience and getting a project completed. So I went over to the wood pile and I got this piece of boxelder. Now this piece of boxelder has the red flame in it. Now this happens from fungus or bugs or stress. The debate goes on kind of why this occurs in boxelder, but it's awesome and super pretty. I really like these red flames that run through the wood and think that'll be quite striking on our keychain. So let's go ahead and get this thing onto the lathe and see what we can do with it. All right, guys, we've got our flame boxelder chucked up here on the lathe. So let's go ahead and get to it, and fingers crossed, let's have no more fails. All right, I love the way that these flames look. It's so awesome. And the fact that it's not something that we dyed, and that it's something that occurs naturally in nature is pretty neat. So let's go ahead and get to making our first section here. As you can see, we've left things a little bit bigger than we did before, and that way we're going to be able to get a little bit more aggressive with our off-center turns. So let's get to it. Awesome. Let's go ahead and get our center point moved over and on to the next section. That's what we were looking for right there, is to be able to kind of separate these gaps, just to make things a little bit more exciting with those flame marks. So perfect. All right, now that we've got all of our funkiness turned in here, we can go ahead and start our sanding. Now you can sand as you go if you'd like. I've got everything indexed here, so I can go ahead and find all these angles again. So I'm going to go ahead and go through that, get it all sanded, and get this thing finished up. All right, now this is just mineral oil. We're going to use this to help kind of lift the grain a little bit, and then we'll sand it down with some double-aught steel wool. Okay, now we're going to add some of my custom finish on here, which is mineral oil, beeswax, car nibble wax, and some citrus oils. So let's go ahead and get that on here. All right, guys, well, if first you don't succeed, try again, huh? And I guess that's true, because we finally have our completed keychain, and I love this thing. I think it turned out great. I like the overall funky shape and look to it. I love the red in there. That flame box elder is really awesome. We went ahead and added a little eye in the top so it can accept a ring. So let's go ahead and get a key on there. All right, we've got our key on there, so it's all ready to go. We'll go ahead and leave you guys with some close-up shots. Thanks so much for watching the video, and we'll see you on the next one.